Ready for drinking? Drawing? What about laughing? Well, hold on to your donkeys. It's season 3 of the ComX Friday Night Drink and Draw. With your hosts Sizzle and Spedsy, plus Quick Nick, our esteemed regulars, and Australia's best-looking creators. Many of whom have books for sale at comx.shop. Now, let's get stanky.
Welcome to the ComX Friday Night Drink and Draw. This is episode 85, I think, and we are drawing Mera? How do you pronounce it? And our special guest, okay, sorry. Our special guest tonight is Jeannine from Heroes HQ.
Hello.
Hey, Mera, Jeannine.
Yes, it's pronounced Mera, like Mera on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
It is pronounced like that.
Something.
Spedsy.
Yeah. I think we established that, Dave, long ago. If you watch old reruns of the show, we would do who was the hottest, thanks to Alex Major's animations. And 8 out of 10 times it landed on your boy. But speaking of my boy, of course, that is the man, Sizz. Thank you for having us back again on the ComX network here on YouTube with Friday Night's Drink and Draw. I am Spedsy, aka Rob. Next to me, she's not so quick, but she is Slim Shady, Dr. Dre's son, Shady Jews in the house.
Hello, thanks for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to be here, as always.
And of course, she is the heir to the Mountain Dew fortune. So all emails to Shaden will be ignored because she has billions of dollars that she has to manage. A man with, well, look, the headline says it all. His butt is hairy. I've seen it. Jason Paulos, welcome to the show.
What? You've seen it?
No, I haven't. I've seen these comics that star a hippo called Hairbutt.
Right. I'm glad you elaborated.
I thought you had something else. I was like, do you have any photos to share for after the show?
Speaking of photos, Alex, what's going on? You have framed yourself perfectly this week, mate.
Yeah, because I figured this would be good for like a passport photo.
Yeah.
Got the wide background.
You're normally always sitting in the lower third of your little rectangle, and you are owning the frame.
Yeah. Because like Jason before the show, just so people, that's the kind of background thing. Jason was making fun of everybody's thing, so I had to,
including my own.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't paying attention to it. I was paying attention to my feelings being hurt. So then I just adjusted the frame, and now I look semi-professional.
Well, at least you've got a chin. I have nothing below the nose. All shading.
Well, except for her butt.
It's like a terrorist, which is fine.
First time on the show, Dan.
Oh, now you look like a fisherman.
Yeah.
Dan, welcome. I'm not sure if you've been to the show before. I should have prepped you beforehand, but brace yourself, roll with it, and we'll have a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, you can't draw characters that live underwater without having Chris Pitcairn on the show. Welcome, Chris.
Yeah,
awesome.
I heard there were ocean princesses, and I had to rock up wearing my Little Mermaid t-shirt.
Nice.
Yeah. The weirdest thing is, I didn't invite you. Sizzle didn't invite you. You just heard it on the wind.
I saw it and I was just like, man.
Yeah. I think he just appeared.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have Nick May today.
I just pushed him over.
Yeah, he famously can't swim. Terrifying.
Look at those shoes. Those big shoes.
Yeah. Now, his horse is already tucked in for the night, but his owner is ready to party all night long. Dave Dye, good to have you back, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, good to be back. Look forward to a good night of jokes and fun and great art.
Are you bringing the jokes, Dave? Because I don't think
Yeah, I'm such a jokester. Yeah.
You don't really classify what I do as jokes, so...
Based on the reactions I get, they're not jokes either.
What are they? Yours are like haikus or something. or Lokus. I'm not sure. Which is also a low-key reference to how often you get attacked by birds, which can often be heard cooing before. See, that's one of those jokes that aren't.
I'm not looking forward.
Anyway.
I'm not looking forward to July.
Yeah. Those remarks were not directed at me; they're directed at Alex Major.
Yes, because birds don't like me.
He's the bird man.
Maddie, you must be crazy. You came back. Well, look, the first 3 letters of your name are Mad. You are mad to have joined us once again, but it is good to have you.
Thank you for having me again. I'm very excited.
That's awesome. And I can't wait to talk to this lady right here. It's Jeannine from Heroes HQ, the comic shop in Ballarat. So awesome to have you, Jeannine.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I'm very humbled to be in all your presence.
Oh, awesome. We do have to chat about the fact that, so I have quite a few comics available at Heroes HQ, but Dave Dye has more. So that is something that needs to be rectified. Yeah. But that's a conversation for later down the road. Let's talk about who we're here to draw. Now, Sis, who are we talking about tonight? Who are we drawing? I mean,
you want me to say the name wrong again?
Yeah. Mera. It's Mera, isn't it?
Mera. There you go.
Now, what do you know about Mera?
Well, I know a little about the comics. I know she existed.
Okay.
That's probably about it from the comics. But then I've seen her in the movie, the Aquaman movie. So I know a little bit more about her from that. I know it's very different from the comics. And she can control water. That's about it, really. And in her non-acting life, she gets into all sorts of conspiracies. So, you know. Not the character, the actor.
Right. I had no idea what you. I mean, I still don't really know what you're talking about, but
yeah, I'll use the wrong word. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, Shaden, what about you? Well, only because all I've got is I don't know much about her other than Aquaman's love interest, and that is to say, I barely know anything about Aquaman. So I'm just going to handball it, a reference to a game that I've almost never watched. But Shaden, do you know anything about Mera?
I have dabbled a little bit with Mera, mainly knowing her through Aquaman. Jason Momoa, God bless his soul. But I do. One of my favorite things about Mera's story is the fact that she goes through like a mental breakdown, and that's actually like heavily illustrated in the earlier series, I believe, and how she kind of like dabbles with her, I guess, anger management, really. So that's a really cool, interesting bit about her, and something that I'm quite interested in. So yeah.
Yeah, right. How are you tackling drawing her tonight? What sort of vibe are you going for?
Well, I'm going pretty cruisy tonight, pretty chill. Usually if we're ever drawing a male character, everyone knows I like to gender bend them and turn them into female, really strong female characters. But I feel like I don't really want to do that tonight. I think Mera is really strong, just how she is, really. So I think, if anything, I really enjoy her complementary colors in her character design. So that's something that I'm going to be pushing for, like, forward.
So Shaden, have you considered doing him just like doing her gender bender as just like some weak dorky dude?
I mean, I'm considering it. That's actually really, yeah, I like that a lot. You never know. Maybe I'll do like a really nice piece, and then I'll do like a very dorky boy, like you said.
Stick figure with glasses.
Could you send her some photos for reference, Alex?
No, because I'm not skinny. I'm fat, so I'll just send photos of Nick May. Himself. I love you, Nick.
Now, Jason is somewhat an enemy of the sea because he just got back from a big fishing trip. What happened to your hat?
Oh, here it is. I'll get it.
You've been pulling from the very ocean that Mera calls home and killing her friends and whatnot.
Yes, Rob, I have.
Are you a big Mera fan?
No, I don't know anything about her.
What about Aquaman?
Yeah, I do. I do remember the Nick Cardy Aquaman from the 70s.
Okay.
Oh.
So pre long hair and hand chopped off.
Oh
Good old
yeah,
days.
well before that. Mera was in it. I can't remember much about it except Nick Cardy was an awesome artist, and that's probably what caught my eye.
Are you drawing her tonight?
I don't know I've forgotten what she looks like. I've got a vague memory that she's got some sort of seashell crown thing going on.
Yeah.
Maybe some sort of hair extension thing, and probably a fish scale bodysuit. Am I wrong?
Sure.
I don't know what's going on with her feet. Does she have feet or does she have flippers?
No, she doesn't have any feet. It ends at the knees. And
all right, well I'll draw that.
Stumpy.
Draw that. Also.
Draw that.
Well, just a nerdy artist question. How do you draw water? People underwater. How do you show that with your stuff?
You cover it up with lots of swirly things.
Okay. Perfect.
You cover all the hard bits up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Have you just considered, Rob, just putting a blue layer and then just play with the opacity? And just put some bubbles.
They breathe bubbles.
Speaking of someone who I often ask for him to cover up his hard bits, Alex. Woo! What do you know about the Lady of the Sea?
I only know what Amber Heard has done allegedly.
It's funny. I meant to say in the pre thing, let's keep the Amber Heard jokes to a minimum. So
Okay,
let's see how we go.
That's all I know. That's all I know about this character. I was going Googling for references, and I was like, that's the character Amber Heard played in those movies. And I'm like, okay, and that's it. Right. I have no jokes. I'm going to zip it because they are overdone. I agree with you, Rob.
So if anyone's got a fresh new take, though, Alex, it's you. So
not me. No.
I'll let you have one just throughout the course of the show. Just start sketching down a few ideas and then drop one classic Amber Heard joke on us before we go.
I didn't think you're going to say joke after dropping a... Anyways, no, I have nothing on this character. I'm drawing her based on Google references.
She controls the water.
Okay. So she just turns the tap on and off?
She's a plumber, yeah. Does roofs, roofs.
She's a plumber, basically. Okay. Sounds great. Maybe Dan knows more about...
Before we move on, Alex, can you give us a clue as to who might be dancing with Mera tonight?
You want clues of who's dancing with
Mera? Yeah, you don't have to tell us who.
I'll tell you what. Okay. Last time I drew this character, we didn't do mainstream characters. So this is from a previous guest from season 1 of ComX. It's one of their characters.
Okay.
And so I'm not gonna. I'll give you another. Do you want me to give you another hint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He was a story artist on Mad Max.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, I've got it.
So now you know who I'm talking about. And Rob used to steal these ideas as well.
Yeah.
He confessed to them.
For those who don't know, we like to end the show with some dancing, and it's prompted by Alex's animation of tonight will be Mera dancing with an Australian character. Who, based on those clues, I have a fair idea. For those of you playing at home, feel free to chuck your answers in the comments, and we will neither confirm or deny. Dan, please tell me you're a big Mera fan, because so far we're 0 for 5.
I'm not at all. I did watch the first Aquaman movie.
Mm-hmm.
But and it was directed by that James Wan, who I think is Australian. But apparently the test screenings for the second movie are not great. So and that whole DC that whole group is getting canned anyway, aren't they? Getting switched over. But yeah, I don't really know much about Mera aside from she wears green and she's underwater, and yeah.
How about drawing her tonight? What sort of vibe are you going for?
I started pretty early.
Oh, that's all right.
Thanks.
Oh, wicked! Hang on, we'll boost you up for a looky.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I haven't drawn this hand yet.
Sorry, we're waiting for
I was just getting to this hand now, but yeah.
Looks good.
Nice.
Thanks.
Good.
Yeah, cheers.
And you've done her classic, like she doesn't have feet; it just ends at the knees there, so that's perfect.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, Chris. Is she the closest thing to a DC princess? I guess if Wonder Woman's a queen, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, because she is a princess, isn't she, in the films, or something like it? Or in the books. This is one of those horrible moments where I have to admit I also know next to nothing about her. Beyond, I like her outfit. I approve of the color scheme. It's very Little Mermaid, and that gives me joy. But yeah, no, I know very little about her beyond the films. But yeah, yes.
That's her. Funnily enough, that's a statue. That I think what you're showing there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Actually,
cool.
I too was looking for reference today, and that was the best image that kept coming up. But then I think I realised it was a statue. Chris, is she going to have a fish tail tonight, or are you going the traditional legs?
I don't know. What theme could I be going with? You'll have to wait and find out. I'm giving away nothing. I'm saying nothing.
Now, I think I asked this early on, but I'm still curious, and I've forgotten your answer. So, Chris, you're on a ship. You hear the siren song. You tell the captain to steer towards the rocks where there's 3 mermaids sitting on top of the rock. Now you know what the myth
What
is.
the deal is. Yeah.
But they're calling to you. What do you do?
Dive in. Swim forward, swim towards them as fast as possible.
Okay, awesome.
And then ask if I
what
can
would
take
be
a
the
photo.
goal in your mind? Like what they drown the dudes and then eat them? Is that? But
I'm fine with that. No, I'd be like, let me join you.
Yeah, I thought maybe
Can I
you were
join
hoping
in?
that like you could be like, I'm one of you, like accept me as one of your own.
Is there a sign-up sheet?
Yeah, yeah. If so, it's all soggy because it's been underwater. But yeah, and then that would be weird. That then the next time past, I'm on the ship and mermaids are calling out, and I'm like, holy moly, that's Chris over there.
Yeah, one of them just sitting there in a hat and glasses, going la la la. I don't care. You stay there. I'm good.
Eating reheated pizza and
Yeah. I had pizza tonight. Actually, I've already eaten. Spoiler alert.
Oh no, we have more instruments today. We have a ukulele, drums, and guitar, and the smooth sounds of Sizzle's voice.
Maddie, what do you know about Mera?
Everything.
Okay.
No, I'm lying. I don't know a thing.
It controls water.
Yeah.
Well, what are you? How are you approaching your drawing of her tonight?
I reckon I'm gonna go for something simple. I'm gonna put half of her body underwater, so I don't have to draw it.
I did the exact thing. I actually put 3/4 of her body under the water.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah. I have a habit of characters that have nothing to do with water, still have them standing knee deep in a puddle, so I don't have to draw. Well, just before we move to Jeannine and get the whole lowdown, I should tell you a thing or two. So, of course, Mera, published by DC Comics, was created by Jack Miller and Nick Cardy. So we do have a Nick on the show in spirit. The character first appeared in what comics is?
I don't know. Aquaman?
No.
11.
Oh, Jeannine, hell yeah!
Number 11. Yeah.
Originally portrayed as a supporting character to her husband, the superhero Aquaman, possessing the formidable hydrokinetic power to create and control water. So Jason nailed it. Modern writers have given greater emphasis to her superhuman physical strength. In recent years, Mera has featured as a member of the DC Comics flagship superhero team, the Justice League. Queen Mera, so not a princess, Chris. Queen Mera's earlier storylines have also portrayed her mental breakdown shaded, as she was faced with crippling loss. The stories explored her attempts at coping with lasting anger and rage. So just quietly, all of us knew pretty much nothing, but you two up the top there nailed two of the first things mentioned in the... So maybe we do know a thing or two. Maybe we're not complete dummies.
You know, she was trained to kill Aquaman. So from a child, she was trained to save Atlantis from Aquaman's world, and they were side by side countries, underwater worlds. So from a really, really early age, and then she was to go into Aquaman's kingdom, father's kingdom, and kill Aquaman and finish the whole war that had been going on for thousands and thousands of years across the seven seas and all the rest of it. And when she got there, she actually fell in love with Aquaman.
Okay.
And married him. And well, married him, upset her father and her family, and they exiled her. And when so she became queen of Aquaman's world, not necessarily her own world. She was a princess in exile. And they lived separated for many years. She had Arthur Jr. and
Is that Aqualad?
Arthur Jr. Yes, Arthur Curry is Aquaman.
Oh, no.
That's
So, was their son Aqualad, or is that a totally other? Okay.
Aqualad, I don't know. I don't know where he came into it. But in my era of reading those early comics in the 60s, Arthur Jr. was stolen by Aquaman's half-brother. Or was it her half-brother? Anyway, he was evil. And he died. So her son died to Aquaman, and that's what caused her pain and her breakdown. Yeah. So it was in the era of the happy pills that the world was giving to women at the time, and making everybody happy and sad at the same time, dealing with their lives. And so for me, it was very, very poignant that the strongest woman in the DC universe was going through such pain and such mental anguish. So, yeah. And then the latest movies are so totally off track, and everyone thinks that Aquaman looks like Jason Momoa, and he does, and he's got blonde hair, and he has, they don't wear scales, and Mera's costume doesn't go down her cleavage. She's got a beautiful white sort of dress-looking thing with a long orange plait. That's the Mera that I remember from my youth. A long plait down her back, and a golden crown, three-pointed crown. So long eyelashes, strong woman. So it was quite fitting for International Women's Day next week. I thought. Thank you, Sizzle, for asking me to choose.
Yeah, I dare not speak ill of the Snyderverse because we inhabit a little part of the internet where we're not big enough to have haters in our comment room as yet.
Yeah.
But I did hear a fascinating take on Aquaman, particularly his trident, and that he had a 5-pronged trident, which someone said is a perfect metaphor for those movies because they went to such an extreme that they then and the example is the 5-pronged trident is then no longer a trident because it's got 5 prongs, which
got 5 prongs.
Which is sort of like works for the whole thing. They've gone so extreme with everything that it's no longer what they were.
Yeah, that's right.
What it was meant to be, kind of thing.
But she was very short-lived in the 60s. 63 is when she came out, and her and Aquaman were pretty formidable. But it was a very sad sort of story for her. I found anyway. So the latest ones of how she looks with the green fitting swimsuit with legs is not how she was portrayed in those early comics, and they all had legs. None of them had fins. They weren't mermen or merwoman.
Yeah.
They could go between worlds and breathe air as well as water.
Right.
And when her superpowers were stolen by this evil stepbrother, she couldn't go back into the water until her powers were restored. So she couldn't breathe underwater.
Right.
So there you go.
So
That's
the
what I
loss
know
and mental breakdown and whatnot, is that something that's carried on throughout her over the years, or was that something that was sort of told and then she's moved on, or like is it a reoccurring theme throughout her stuff?
I'm not sure why she's back, but then that's a DC sort of base thing. That's a comics universe thing because she died. And, so she was one of those short-lived characters, though she was the strongest in the universe, in all the characters, she never came right, and she just died out. The sun was the reasoning of that. So to be brought, Aquaman was reinvented and brought back to everybody's sight, the next generation, Her storyline for me, growing up with her in the beginning, I was 6 or 7 at that age, and growing up it's so totally different now. I say to my daughter every now and then, "Who's that? Who's that again?" And she goes, "That's so and so," and I go, "Oh, okay," because I've got to figure out where they fit back into the universe in today's storytelling.
Yeah. Dave, you dropped out for a little bit, but you're back.
Yeah.
Now, please tell me you're an encyclopedia on Mera because we've not had a very good run of.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to disappoint you, mate. I didn't know she existed, to tell you the truth, because, I don't read Aquaman and I don't read any of those sort of comics. So that's my excuse for not knowing about it. I'm sure I would have, if I had read the comics and that, I would have been full bottle.
You're an odd one, Dave, because I'll often bring up a character and think, no, Dave won't know this person at all, and then you pull out 14 omnibuses and you know everything about it. And so I never know, whether you're going to be an expert or
I think you hit the nail on the head with the first sentence. I'm an odd one.
Okay.
That sums it up, mate.
How are you approaching drawing her tonight?
Well, I had so much fun doing Sherlock last week in graphite. I'm going to do an Amber Heard in graphite.
Okay, right. So are you literally using a reference of Amber Heard right now?
Yeah, I've got a photo in front of me here on the computer.
Right.
I want a lot of people saying how that's not a good thing. Rob told me to stop talking about Amber Heard. You're not funny.
Hey, I didn't say the last bit. You had
I knew what you meant. I know what's going on.
Well, I am hanging to talk to Jeannine about what she does during a day-to-day whatnot. So our little intro music talks about that we do a creator spotlight, and Jeannine is a creator. She created her own little universe up there in Ballarat with a shop called Heroes HQ. So let's chat to her.
Now it's that part of the show where we shine a big shiny spotlight on one of our creator friends. This week, we welcome
Name
and talk about their creative journey. Please, everybody, make some noise for
Name.
Yes. Of course, this week's name is Jeannine from Heroes HQ in Ballarat. Jeannine, I spent 11 years working in a comic book store here in Melbourne. It's a hard business. You must be crazy. Tell us about your opening a comic book store and opening a comic book store in Ballarat.
Well, luckily I didn't actually open it. I bought it. It was 3 years old when I bought it, and it was a complete change to my life. I hadn't been in retail for probably 20 years, and the retail I was in before was a lot easier to sell. And I've moved the shop 3 times since having it. I moved it out of a little tiny what used to be the Q store of the old barracks, so a 100-year-old building that was falling down and leaking. And I remember the first day I opened the shop by myself after taking it over, there was this strange man looking in the nose. And every room that I went into in this shop, this man was looking in through the window. And I thought to myself, I thought, oh, this is a bit creepy. And I'd found a homeless person's rucksack out the back, and I'd you know, it was a lovely old, it's a lovely old building, the Q store, but it was, for me as a woman in retail in a shop alone, was really quite creepy. And then I had this man looking in through the window. So I thought, well, you know, I'm going to take the by the horns, and I swung open the door and said, "Can I help you?" And he said, "Hello, you the new owner, you know." And he came in every Tuesday, and showed me what he'd drawn. And he did that for a good couple of years. He's a lovely guy, and he had some special needs, and he met me at the shop, you know, 10 minutes before I opened every Tuesday. But that initial thing was that every time I walked into a room, there was sometimes a person there that I didn't know had walked into the shop. So I moved across the road into 2 big rooms, and then it flooded a lot, like 17 times there. I lost a lot of stock. So I moved out of the lowest part of Ballarat, where the drainage was looking pretty old and decrepit, and into a warehouse sort of situation. So I've moved 4 kilometres from the CBD into a warehouse, and a very small light industry warehouse, and I've got the online store and my physical store in there as well. And now I've got 3 huge, long stands with Australian comics on them.
Yeah. Now we're going to cover all that, obviously. But first off, did anyone else think that it was going to be a ghost when she first said there was someone looking through the windows? I was like,
I thought it was going to be a romance story.
No, we did have a ghost. We did have a ghost in the second store. That was the old. It's the old Brown's Sweet. It's the confectionery store, and that's where raspberry drops were made first. You know, the Sovereign Hill raspberry drops that you can buy. So that's where they were built on. That store was built, and that's where they were made for the army, the Australian Army. And we had a ghost there. We'd come in some mornings, and there'd be things across the floor, and there would be different things moved around that we didn't know. We hadn't left there the night before and stuff, so we figured it was the ghost. We just didn't name him in case he stayed.
For those who don't live in Victoria and might not know, can you tell us a little something about Ballarat and why it's kind of special?
Ballarat's really quaint. There's population of about 116,000 at the moment, and growing. 90 minutes west of Melbourne. It's a regional town with one of the major hospitals that deal with Western Victoria.
Mm.
It has a long Indigenous history. It was a meeting spot. It's part of the Kulin Nation. There was meeting spaces and eating and fishing and a lot of food around here, and so there was a lot of trading that went on here all through the many thousands of years that the Indigenous lived here, prior to white settlement. And then after white settlement, there was gold found here, and they thought it was good farming land, but because it was well managed, there was open field. So it's now become a tourist town, and we've got Sovereign Hill, and we've got Crowell Castle just over the border in Mirabel, just out of town, and we've got the Wildlife Park, which it's quite
now,
good.
for those who don't know, Sovereign Hill is like was it ever a real town, or it's kind of like a pretend gold rush town, right?
Well, it's been built as a gold rush town. I think they've got buildings there that they've managed to save. So they were
Right.
the town from the town 50 kilometres away or so, and it is built on an old mine.
Yeah,
So,
and you can fish for gold or whatever you pan for gold and stuff. Yeah, fish.
They've
Where's
got
your
a
hat,
whole
Jason?
thing
Yeah.
Oh, we
Or
got
you
another,
can- or
we got
you-
another nugget on the line. Yeah.
Fish for
Or
gold.
you can buy a panning license or a gold detecting license and go 20k up into one of the streams and do your own. So
Or you can
there's,
buy a
it's actually on the edge of the basalt plain, and the basalt plain from the volcanoes that erupted out on the western plains, out towards Adelaide and up towards Mildura, those volcanoes that erupted. This is the edge of the lava flow, which is why when you leave Melbourne to come to Ballarat, you climb 450 metres above sea level.
Mm.
So this
Wow.
is the edge of the gold.
Yeah, so I think maybe a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago, I was going on holiday and driving through Ballarat. And whenever I'm on holiday, a smaller nugget, Pete. There's always a bigger nugget. Yeah, wherever I go, I like to check out comic shops. I've checked out every comic shop there is in Paris, everyone I could find in America, and I was driving through Ballarat, so I did a quick Google, and to find out, because I had heard about Heroes HQ, I wanted to find where it was, and because I don't know what this says about me. It says something, but I always have some of my comics in the car just in case I run into someone or whatnot.
You sell any in Paris as well?
Yeah. No.
Well done, mate. Don't be ashamed.
So I bumbled my way into Heroes HQ and striked up a conversation with Jeannine. And before I knew it, I had all my comics on the table, and she was buying them up. Unbeknownst to me, Jeannine and Heroes HQ are huge supporters of Australian comics, and even more so in the last couple of months. Jeannine, can you tell us a little bit about support it? Like, why? I guess you support Australian comics, but why especially has it kind of like you've gone from maybe a decent sized section of Australian comics to now it's like one whole wall of your shop almost. What was that decision?
Look, when it wasn't a hard decision to do. In the first lockdown, after when the fires were going and the pandemic had struck and everything went into lockdown, all the imports stopped. There was no comics coming in, there was nothing, and no tourism, because when we've got tourists coming through, they don't want to know about the comics you can buy globally. They want to buy Australian comics, and it's been so nice all those pre-19, to be able to say to someone, well, here's this one. Here's this person lives in Wodonga. This person lives in Mildura. This person lives in Queensland. This person lives, and they buy all these comics and they take them off in France, Spain, America, all over the world. These comics were going to. Lockdown happened.
That's awesome.
Income. And I thought, well, I don't quite know how I'm going to pay month's rent. And Australia Burns happened, the comic book to support the industry. And out of the blue, I get an email saying, we've got this money, would you like it? And they sent me enough money to pay my rent that month.
Oh, wow.
And got me through that lockdown. So it wasn't hard to see the support. There was a heap of stuff happening globally in the UK and in America, and all these super funds going on to help the industry over there. And here's this group of industry people supporting us, the comic, the bricks and mortar people. So they paid my rent that month, and then of course we came out of lockdown, and the imports started happening again, and people started buying online and so on and so forth. But that was enough for me. When things got really tough last year, we're supposed to have come out of this pandemic, and business and retail is supposed to have kicked in. Well, I'm rural, and we're not metro. I've got a community up here who supported me through all that time, and beautifully through all that time, and also the comics industry that supported me through, Australian comics industry. So when things were getting pretty tough and tight, and I could see that I could go into full debt, maybe sell the house to pay the debt, and or stop importing while the costs were more. There was more cost to get the comics here than it was what I was selling. So it wasn't covering it, and so it's hit the rural sector before it's hit metro now, but we've been feeling it for 6 months here. And so as I'm having those hard conversations with the overseas creators and distributors, I'm thinking I could bring this money, I could be giving this money to the comics industry here, and try and ride through 2023, the rising interest rates and wages and all blah 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 blah. So I got a wages job, and that's so far kept us running. And I've got a wall full of Australian comics, and I'm waiting for the tourists, because we haven't had very many of them yet.
And I just happened to catch in a video you put up this week, you've done an ingenious thing about separating it into the different states that they were created in. Which is such a cool, particularly for a tourist to come and just be like, all right, I'm going to get one from each part of Australia or whatever.
Yeah. It shows that, I was talking to a Queensland creator who's sending me down some books, and he said that you know that from his originating country, his home country, the whole country gets together, and he doesn't know why it doesn't happen here. And I explained to him about what ComX is and what the industry does. And so he's going to get involved in other states, because I said to him, he said, coming from Queensland to Victoria and seeing the different comics made down here compared to there was so vastly different. And it's the disjointedness of what we do here as an industry. You know, it's where to go, who's the lead, you know, and getting everybody together. So I thought if I did that way, I could show what was coming in from the different states, and maybe while advertising, the people that are creating can see where to go, where to look, who's doing what also. And it would be great for the tourists too. It would be nice to be able to pick up. I've got none from the Northern Territory and none from Tasmania. So if anyone out there's in Tasmania and in the Northern Territory.
Glenn, I'm looking at you guys. Let's get some comics up here.
Scott Fraser is in Hobart. He used to do Doll Boy. So
Gary Challoner.
Gary Challoner and Glenn Lumsden are both down there.
Lumsden.
So just calling out some lazy Tasmanian folk who should be sending their comics.
Yeah, we need to get Jeannine to put in a whole new section for the Tassie folk.
Just dropping names.
Well, I've got the signs made. I just haven't got them, you know. And I even made. I actually threw it out, but I even laminated Australia. You know, one that maybe that somebody created it from every state, and I could put that up there as under Australia. You know? So if there was a creator in Queensland,
we have one of those. We have a book called Sizzle and Doug.
Oh, there you go.
We have to send it just so we can be the only person in that section for the moment.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Be in the Australian section.
Right across, just the whole of Australia.
Everywhere in that one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we might. Do we have a Tasmanian?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, great!
Wow.
Flying through it. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Note the Viper. Hello. I'm going crazy.
That's awesome. So Jeannine, what's the like the actual mechanics of it? Like, how does a creator get their book on your shelf?
They email me, and I say yes, please. Just send them here. Just send me an invoice, and I'll pay you. And it's not up to me to like them. It's up to the purchasers, and if they don't like them, they won't buy them.
Yeah. Sis, would you mind doing some quick Googling over at the Heroes HQ Facebook page / website, and we'll put the address up on the screen? Is that a doable thing?
Oh yeah, I can do that.
We have the technology. And then so I don't know. Do we get into the specifics about how it works? Like, I mean, it was handy for me because I just rocked up and you were able to basically gave me 50% of the retail price right there. So for out-of-towners, I guess they just send their book and you converse over email and
I'd prefer them not to send the book. I'd prefer them to give me a bit of an email, and we'll catch up.
Oh yes, yeah. Talk
phone,
first,
and then I get them to invoice me.
Okay.
Yeah. And then once I've paid, because you know it's tough. This current climate is pretty tough. Once I've invoiced them, I'll get them to send me the books. Then, last thing I want to do is keep a creator from payment. You know what I mean? So what I've done is I've made a little section of I've actually got my neighbour in the 4 units where I am, industry units where I am, is a she makes things. So she's making me key rings and drink bottles and coasters and placemats. So I've just had a whole lot of Killaroo things made of different things. So drink bottles, and so they're
Yeah.
available as well. And I was talking to Alan Rose today from the Bush Pigs.
Bush Pigs. Yeah.
Yep.
And he's going to do an in-store visit on the 18th of March, and he's bringing down T-shirts. So I'll have those.
Excellent.
So I'm going to try and do the merchandise as well as the comics. But you know, Stacey will make things for me.
I saw how much Killaroo merch you have, and I reached out to Gary Della from Reverie because in a book I do called Larrikin and Just, we have a koala character, and I was just like,
lovely.
Gary, we have to make, her name's Matilda, we have to make Matilda merch and get it down to Heroes HQ.
Well, I just walk next door and talk to Stacey, so you don't have to do the merch. She'll do it for me, okay? She'll make it for me, whatever I want, in whatever quantities I want it. So at the moment,
wow.
I've got a little tiny goodie bag for Darren with everything that I've made in his merchandise, so that when he pops up on the 11th, I can just give him that bag and say, "This is what I've had." I mean, I get the agreement from the creator that it's okay. I get the artwork from the creator as to what gets made. And Stacey at next door at the Creations place just makes it up for me and walks it over.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you guys, you know how I know that when you go to Comic Cons and stuff and Supernovas, it's really, really hard to just get small quantities, you know, or light quantities. So I've got Stacey to make me the placemats and stuff. She makes them out of that wetsuit material, which is really, really light.
Yeah.
So it's light. It's light to send. It's, you know, you can get 3 of these and 10 of those and 4 of those, and she'll just make it and send it.
That's excellent.
That's amazing.
Get ready. You're going to have a lot of emails coming in the next days. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess so. We were also talking before the show. You read a lot of the books that a lot of the Australian books you've been getting. What ones in particular have you enjoyed recently?
Well, I like your one. I'm waiting for number 2.
There's only one, isn't there?
Yeah, the second one's coming.
There's number 2. I mean, come on.
I really enjoyed that, and I'm hanging on the edge. I want to know what this alien's going to do to him. Yeah. And I've read Dean Giles's number 3 that's just come out, the Down Underin.
Yeah.
And about the Christmas. That's the meanest, you know, reindeer I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And I've read the Oi, because I hadn't had a chance to read Oi for a while.
Yeah.
And I've read the Anzac, the number 2 second season of the Anzac. That's the first comic of that.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, look, I walk past and I think, I must read that. And I pick it up and I walk away and I read it. And most of the content that I've read, even if I don't like it, it's good. Does that make sense?
It might not be your cup of tea, but you can appreciate
the artwork. I am stunned by the artwork. You know, the layout, the artwork. It's not full of ads. There's not pages. You know, you're in the middle of a story, you turn it over, and here's this two-page spread of an upcoming movie or Netflix show or whatever. You turn the page in an Australian comic, and there's the story.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you, if Netflix came and said, we want to put a double spread in your comic, here's a bunch of money, I think we'd all pretty much sell out real quick.
I think you would. Okay.
I wouldn't, Rob. You're joking. I would.
No, I think, you know, and that's where the industry is really is really not supported, because there's so many places that could advertise in our comics here, that is a national or a state way of doing it that could be comics based, But
Well,
don't
yeah.
do it
So
here.
I'd notice in Reverie Comics there are a lot of Heroes HQ ads, because it's kind of like a. I know Gary Della's motto is support the shops that support us, sort of thing. So that's obviously Shane and ComX's thing too. It's like, let's all, community is unity, as a bearded man once said. And what is it? Rising tides lift all ships, or something or other. So
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
I was really humbled when Gary offered or said that would it be okay if he would put Heroes HQ in the comics, and it was like, okay,
yeah,
okay, thank you. How much do I owe you? Nothing at all. Oh, well, okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jeannine. Yeah, that was fascinating. Yeah, we would love to have you back sometime soon, and find out what's been going on and whatnot down at the store.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say quickly, like, I was actually, when I heard about your store the first time last week, I was actually, afterwards we talked about it, I was very happy that such a thing exists, because like, it's such a good place, such a good thing that we've got like a home brick and mortar place where somebody can go and just browse through all the comics. And I really recommend other people who have comics that are watching this, that have comics there on their shelves trying to be sold online, just to send it to you, because it's such a good thing to have a proper place, like, for somebody visiting. Like, it'd be really cool.
Well, I'm waiting for Morris and the Middleman number 3. I keep meaning to contact that creator, because I've read 1 and 2. Look, Dee's Comics up in Canberra also have a huge range of Australian comics as well. So,
Yeah, true.
I think a lot of the bricks and mortar stores in Australia try and support Australian, but they don't sell as quickly as the other ones. And for me, it was about supporting the industry and helping change the industry, show Australians and locals that we actually do have an industry, and that they should be supporting, if the indies here, they're just as good as anywhere else in the world.
Yeah. I mean, it is a very tricky thing. Like, I've worked in a comic book store, and I have pushed for more Australian content, but I also, it's not $1 million business, and employees cost money, and just putting stock numbers into a computer costs money, because you got to pay someone to do it, and you're kind of a slave to the Wednesday shipment, and then get it on the shelves, and then Thursday rush, and then you got the Saturday, and it's just, before you know it, you're back to the next Wednesday shipment. And staying on top of a Australian section can be sort of put on the can keep getting knocked off the top of the priority list, unfortunately. So I don't really begrudge any stores for not doing it, because I do understand that it is hard. I won't name names, but there is a comic shop here in Melbourne that has, over the course of time, tried a few times, but now, unfortunately, Australian comics are relegated to one box underneath a counter, and they're all trashed and old and whatnot.
Does that store rhyme with dinosaur?
I'm not confirming or denying, but the point is, I have seen them try multiple times over the years, and obviously it's just, they can't get it to work. And I
think for me, the biggest thing that I sat back on my on my heels, and I thought, well, it's really hard for our industry. You'll do one comic, and then you might do another comic, and then it might be 3 years for the third comic, so our locals here want comics to come out each. We're being trained to get them each week or each month, and that's where I'm finding the little publishings, Jassault and Riviere and and Illustrious and all those, where they're bringing everybody together and producing these comics, that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's people that have picked up a comic and said, is there a second issue? And I've said, yes, there is, and so I've sold this. I won't let them come in and buy the 6 issues. They've got to come back each week and buy one.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. Well, Jason, there are 3 issues of The Devil's Toilet there, and there are 3 issues of Vamoose there. So I have made it past number 1 on a few occasions. Just
I think I've got them on my shelf as well.
Yeah. Sluggish is living up to its namesake.
Come on.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time we check in with another person who's their first time on the show. Dan, I should have given you a heads up about this, but for first timers on the show, we like to do a little bit of a who is your daddy and what does he do? Except it's not about your daddy, it's about you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do? What you do some comics, drawing, writing. What's your gig?
Well, my comic book journey started in like 2013. So I was like really slow with the releases at that time. So like 2013 to 2016, did this thing. Yeah, it's
you
like a
dark Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, and it did succeed, which was cool when I like collected it all together.
Can you give us a little bit of a that flick was so quick? Can you give us like a? No, it's all right. Just hold it up to the screen.
Yeah, the thing that I loved about this, I mean, I don't go back and look at these much, but when I was doing it, I had this idea that like they would be like images within images, and like it's not like a conventional panel by panel. It's a bit crazy, actually.
Which is pretty ambitious for your first book, right?
Right, yeah, it is. It maybe to the point of being a bit silly, but it's about this guy who has like the souls of the dead trapped in his veins, and they come out and they like inhabit different objects. So it was pretty wild. And then there's a time travel book, and then this was like my first collaboration. It was pretty cool. It was like I wrote it and had another artist work on it.
Yeah.
But and then
hang on, you zoom in, and I'm quite fascinated. So sorry, rewind to your first book.
Oh.
I saw several chapters there, and it's obviously a graphic novel sort of thing. But did you release it as single issues to start with, or you went straight for the?
Yeah. So I did.
You did
4 issues.
Yeah.
And just went around to like most of the supernovas, Sydney, Melbourne, like Gold Coast and Brisbane, obviously, and met a lot of cool people through doing that, and then collected it.
Was it a kind of like a learn by doing sort of situation, or did you have someone guiding you, or did you just made it up as you went?
No, definitely like learned as I went to like the conventions, and I did go to a couple of drink and draws in Brisbane a couple of times, but I'm on the sunny coast.
We have to sue somebody. Sorry. No, we're obviously going to have to sue these people that are stealing our gimmick. But
what gimmick's that?
The drink and draw. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
You'll get used to my jokes that aren't jokes. Dave's
repertoire, mate. That's what
you can hear. The crickets coming from Dave's screen. That's usual.
You guys have in-person drink and draws that you go to?
No. So the whole thing falls apart. Don't worry about it.
No.
All right. So then you collected the 4 issues, and then sorry, what was next? You showed us the second book.
There was I did 4 issues of this. It's like a time travel story, and when I tried to collect that together on Kickstarter, I maybe didn't put in as much effort as I should have, and it didn't succeed. So that
Oh, bummer.
But that's fine. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this new stuff that I'm working on. So I do like disability support work, and like I do like some other jobs, and I've done a whole bunch of other things, and it's only in like recently that I've sort of said I'm got this new thing that I'm working on. So yeah, that's I don't know if you can see this very well, but hopefully. Where is it? Yeah, this is like the new thing that I'm working on at the moment, which I'm pretty excited about. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Sweet
Oh,
logo.
cheers.
Good, mate.
Oh, I like that one too.
But yeah.
Oh, that's wicked.
That's awesome.
Cheers. It's a story of a firefighter who's hunting down a dragon. Yeah.
Mm.
And it's set on the Sunshine Coast. So what's cool is I'm like going riding around, finding photo reference around where I live and using that in the comics. Oh. Jason's going to be back soon.
Yeah. And how was it writing for an artist? How did you find, like, when you first started getting thumbnails and pages through? Was it like a crazy experience?
Yeah, it was interesting because it was actually with an ex-girlfriend. She's an amazing artist.
Okay.
And yeah, we just sort of sat across from each other, and she drew digitally and did the artwork for Feral Horizon. It was actually, like, I'd say our most popular book out of my little ones that we've done.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it was an awesome. It was an awesome experience. But and like people were keen on issue 2 and 3 and 4, and I had plans for it, but we didn't continue on with that because we wanted to do different.
You should be honest and
things.
just say her artwork's crap. We don't want her to meet other people. Your ex-girlfriend. Stop complimenting her. I'm joking. I'm sure. Sorry, apologies.
No, it's all right. I actually run into her at Laugh Drawing sometimes. Yeah, she's doing good. Yeah, doing her own thing, and I'm doing my comics. So it's
she's
all
actually
good,
in the green room. She's about to join us on the show. Everybody, welcome to
Is it Danielle May?
So what are you working on at the moment, Dan? What's the next one off the rank? That's the firefighter and the dragon guy?
Yeah.
And how many pages are you thinking for this project?
Well, I've got like I don't want to. I've got like the script for 4 issues, and
oh, cool.
I've got 7 pages of actual.
Are you afraid someone's going to hold you
art.
to it if you say 4 issues and it's actually 6, and they'll go back and?
Yeah, I just. What's cool though is what I'm uploading YouTube videos of the process of it. So like, I've published like how I came up with the cover, page 1, page 2 and 3. I'm going to be uploading that video tonight actually.
Oh, cool.
And it'll just show, like so far it's just showed the effort I've gone to like get reference images and think about how to lay out the panels of the comic as nicely, and to enhance the story and make it cool, and yeah.
Awesome.
So,
well, we do a little plug section at the end of the show, so you'll have to tell us where we can go and find your books and your YouTube channel and whatnot. Now, last time, Maddie, when you were on the show, you had a horrible technical difficulties and whatnot. So awkwardly, I'm going to ask you if you can say all the same stuff you said, but now we'll be able to hear it. Is that doable?
Yeah, that's fine. I was going to remember what I said. Well, my name's Maddie. I mainly do at the moment short form autobiographical comics, and I'm beginning to dip my toes into making zines, and getting those printed out and hopefully going to some fairs and conventions. I mainly do ink on paper, but I'm also quite interested in digital art, and like, I don't know, I have a very messy process where I like bash them both together. Like I'll draw with a piece of paper and then I'll just like murder it on my iPad and make it work. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really interested in long form comics. I think I'm going to goal soon. Fiction and that kind of stuff, branching out of my comfort zone. Yeah, I don't know. That's all good.
Can you refresh me on what because last time I had your artwork and stuff ready, but I've not done that this time, and I can't remember the one of the strips that I really liked. What were your works called?
Oh God, I've got them all on my website. I can find the link to that if you want. But a lot of my comics have been published through VoiceWorks magazine.
Okay.
Wonderful magazine submission for like young Australian writers and artists, and I really love that. And yeah,
did you do one about a twin sister, or am I misremembering?
No, yeah, I did have that one. That one's on my Instagram. Yes, and my website.
Okay, yeah, because that was awesome. But I was scared to like. It was, what was it? Twin sister that looks exactly like you but is nothing like you, or something? Some sort of
something deep and
yeah, there was some sort of cool thing. I need to go revisit it because I remember it. Yeah, it was really awesome. Well, it's stoked that we can actually hear you this time because we'd like to have you on the show more often. So it's cool that we got all that sorted. We might now do a little thing where I put on a little tune and we check in with the man. Dave, how's your Mera going?
Pretty much finished, I think, now.
Oh, nice.
Very beautiful, Dave.
Yeah, excellent.
Looks a bit off here, but I think it's just the angle of this crown thing and the way I haven't probably represented the way it sort of sweeps back, which sort of distorts that angle, which makes it a bit weird looking.
Right.
Looks fine.
She looks very contemplative. She's having she's having a think.
She's looking off into the distance at something. I don't know what. I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah. She's wondering what she could order from the fish and chip shop without having to eat something from the sea. She's like, is a potato from the ocean?
That's what I look like.
Yeah.
See cucumbers.
Now, I did say before the show, obviously, I should have said that Quick Nick couldn't make it tonight. And so in his seat is the Google girl, Slim Shady, Shaden Do. Now, I warned you, Shaden, that if I was struggling or whatever, what I like to do is I throw something weird at Nick and he sort of helps me out. I didn't struggle, but I thought it's not really fair that I set you up and then didn't throw you something. So I wanted to run something past you. I'm playing a video game at the moment where I'm like a Viking dude and I have a girlfriend in the game. And then I inadvertently got a second girlfriend. Now, there is an option to break up with the previous one, but I went and visited her to see if the game, like if somehow she knew that I had just gotten a new girlfriend, but she doesn't know. So what's the ethics here about playing a game and having two girlfriends? Like, should I apply real world ethics? What's your take on it?
This?
Well, I think it comes down to consent, Spedsy. I think if you practice, what is it, polyamory?
Polyamory.
As long as that she's in the know, I think it's all G.
So
but
what
I
if she
mean-
does? Like, I don't know if they know, and I can't tell them. Like, the game only gives me so many options. So there is a breakup button. Do I? Yeah, I'm not sure what to do here.
I
And
don't
they both
know.
live in the same village too. I don't know if that's.
Oh no! What have you done?
Their huts
Okay.
are oddly close to each other.
Yeah, you're really in a pickle, aren't you?
Spedgy.
How long have you been playing this game with the original girlfriend?
Good question. So I don't get to play much, but I've probably had like sort of 3 game sessions with her. But I've now had 2 girlfriends for another 2 game sessions, probably about 2 hours of gameplay. I've had 2 girlfriends.
But have they been really memorable and enjoyable 2 hours?
Admittedly, I didn't spend much time with them. I had to spend a lot of time like foraging for loot and whatnot.
Okay. Okay, from maybe a logical standpoint, how much value does she bring to your foraging?
Well, one, these are great questions. One is kind of the leader of like expanding our reach in this world, and the other is she's in charge of like converting pelts and stuff to wearable gear. So they both have their fairly significant roles in the community. And Wrinkle, that I had no idea about. One of them is my brother's wife. Now, I didn't know that until the relationship was well underway, and she just dropped in a line of dialogue that I am married to your brother, and I was like, "Oh, what? I totally missed that."
Yeah, I think we
Were
have
you not
clear
at the wedding? At your brother's wedding?
Well, I'm guessing that the wedding took place before I joined. Like Spedsy joined this
But
character.
they figured they'd have like a couple of bullet notes that they're just kind of like, before you get into it. By the way, that's your brother's wife. That's your mum.
And it might have been said, but sometimes the cutscenes can go a bit long, and you're just sort of skip. And she might have had this bit where like,
what game is this, Robbo? Is this, are we supposed to figure
Yeah,
it
I'm
out?
going to say, what game is this?
I made it up. It's a role playing game. No, it's Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
is that on PS4 or?
I played on Xbox One.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Cool. All right, let's look at that. That went about as good as you could hope. Thank you so much, Slim Shady. Speaking of something or other, Sis, should we take a look at some artwork?
Let's have a look at some art. Yes. We shall start with Marty Wells. It's a work in progress, he said. He didn't get to finish it before he sent it in.
Oh, Marty.
I love the background. Background is Bikini Bottom.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah.
It is too.
She's got some sort of power bursting out of her there, right?
I guess it's her water powers? I don't know.
What's that done in pastel? The figure's done in pastel on top of another picture. I didn't.
Yeah, it's a SpongeBob background.
Oh, right. And what's this? How's he done those circles?
Not sure. He does it. I think he does it on his phone or his iPad with his fingers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did. He did say he does it all on his phone.
Wow.
It was on his phone. Yeah. Okay.
That looks like real pastel, doesn't it?
Phone pastel.
What is it? Phone pastel.
Faces back.
Samsung pastel.
Came in a box, little tiny box of phone pastels about this big.
Right.
Yeah, I think like the phone is like 6.2 megapastels or something like that. Don't laugh, Dave.
Oh,
you're not jokes, remember?
Sorry, I was laughing at Alex. He looks very funny.
What's next is?
The next one up is Travis Richardson.
Oh, there
Nice.
you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Look at that one.
I think that's the proper Aquaman.
Excellent. Nice work, Trav.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Having a bubble bath. Good
Yeah.
on you, mate.
Oh, and it says, it's got trench because there's a whole thing. Oh, we've lost Jeannine. There's a whole thing with a trench. There's a whole thing with a trench.
But I think also, I think the Amber Heard character there is holding Jason Momoa's photo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Actually, there's a few we should. Yeah, and then there's a fish dying on the ground, which
Fish fingers on the
Feel
It's
like-
a metaphor to our jokes, Rob.
yeah.
Travis loves it.
Is that an anchor?
Well,
Yeah.
so I think that's he's popped out the top of his trident for a what would you call
Fish
it?
fingers, aren't they?
Quindent.
Fish fingers.
Dave, would it be called a quindent if it's got 5 prongs?
Oh, yeah, if it's got 5, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
Trademark that quindent.
Or a
Excellent, Trav.
again.
And he just showed a low-key way to have your art on the screen for a long time. Put lots of Easter eggs in it. So we have to like spend a long time looking.
Lots of chicken fat.
Cool. Well, the next one is Michael McConaughey. That's him there, actually.
Oh, is it?
Right. This
I
one.
believe so. It could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Oh, nice. I panicked that when I said Mike before that it was a Michelle. But
She's
it's
holding
Mike.
the Jason Momoa picky.
Yeah.
This is a really nice drawing.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
nice.
really
isn't it?
cool.
And Rob, looks like there's some hints of how to draw water there, so you can learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to control the water too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
The
Who
action
did
lines are- Sorry, Dave?
Who did that one?
That's Michael McConaughey.
Oh, right.
All right, all right, all right.
Right.
I like that. Good one.
Good on you, Mick. Well done, mate.
Well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah,
You've
it's
been
awesome.
sending him pics the last couple of weeks, actually. They're awesome.
Good to have you, Mike.
And we've got another one from Bryony May.
Ah,
Hopefully she
Wow,
makes
look
up.
at that.
Cool.
Bryony. Hell yeah.
yeah. Wow.
Excellent. Excellent.
Wow. She's got her own style, hasn't she?
Yeah, very nice.
Different to Dad. Nice.
Different to her uncle, different to her
Yeah.
auntie.
Yeah. No, that's nice. Well done, Brian.
We laugh, but we literally have seen the artwork from her dad, her uncle, and her auntie. So that's
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Comic art dynasty, evidently.
yeah.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah,
Mick.
poor Peter Lawson and Dana Lawson, they had the market cornered with family artists, and then the Mays came along and just
Oh, yeah.
Ruined it.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one up is Janet Locke.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
nice
Well
work.
done, Janet.
Well done.
Very nice.
Very awesome.
Hell yeah. The water pattern
Oh,
thing.
that's my bald head getting in the way.
Davo77.
Dave,
You didn't
yeah.
even have to say who it was. That's a man whose
Yeah.
style you can spot from a mile away.
Yeah.
Like she has a few styles. This is just the one he uses for the show.
You're right about that, actually.
Mm. Yeah.
I like to
Yeah.
think I could spot them all. I am that familiar with David
Right.
77 stuff.
Nice one. Dave, good on you, mate.
Yeah, excellent.
Beauty, mate.
Peter Lawson got fancy and put a heading.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
That's cool.
Oh, wait, put it up
Okay.
again. Look, he
Good on
even
you,
commented on his own piece.
Oh, no.
Good on you, Pete. Yeah, well, it's nice to ring your own bell, blow your own trumpet every now and then. Good on you, mate.
But doesn't the trident supposed to have 5 little things going on?
You're thinking of a quindent.
I
What
know.
was it? Pendant.
I know, but I
That's
thought
excellent, Pete.
Oh,
Nice
dear.
work, son-of-law.
And then we have Tony Menzies,
Mm.
Oh, look at that.
another regular.
Oh, right. Now, that's a bit
No,
different,
mate.
from Tony.
Yeah, it
I
is.
wish you could zoom in on these things.
Wait, put it down for a sec.
Are we doing a song for Shaden?
Yeah, well, that's what I was just going to try and do, but my guitar's in the other room. But the picture's
wrong?
away.
Someone's eating.
What's Shaden having for tea?
So literally just as we started, my mum came in and delivered me KFC.
Yes.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's right.
I also had KFC for dinner, but I had it before the show, Shaden.
Did you really have KFC? What did you have? Did you have a Zinger burger?
No, I had pieces of chicken, like Slim Shady right there. So, question for Tony Menzies. I believe Tony Menzies and Janet Locke. And I want to know what the sitch is. Do they sit across from the table and draw at the same time? Do they critique each other's work?
Yes.
I want to know.
Well,
what
we'll
it's
have to
like
get him on the
to
show,
artists.
mate.
What?
We'll have to get him on the show.
No.
We can try.
Yeah.
Not having that silky voiced man on this show. It's a shame. People realize I have a really weird voice.
Rob, thanks. I'm not the only one bringing up awkward relationship stuff. Thanks, Rob.
Come back, Tony.
Yeah, Tony, come on the show and tell us all about. Well, no, screw Tony. Let's get Janet on.
Yes, I'm Janet. Both.
Well, let's have them both on, and I'll I'll play Dr. Phil, and we'll talk about their relationship or something or other.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of Spedsy.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh,
Why didn't you draw the feet?
Right. Spedsy just...
I put a lot of text on there, you guys.
Yeah, you did.
You have to leave it up for ages.
Give everyone a chance to read.
And I'm not even sure it's worth it. So if you're playing at home, you don't need to read it all. It's like the jokes I say out loud. They're somewhat.
So are these fonts? Did you put those fonts in Procreate, or did I just not find these fonts?
Yeah, I did put them in Procreate. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Are they like Blambot fonts, or?
I'm not sure where I got that one from. Possibly.
Oh, okay.
That one's called Jack Armstrong. It's my favourite at the moment.
Why does she look startled, mate? She's got her eyes wide open like that.
She's looking at me, the artist. I spent about 4 minutes on it, Dave. Don't critique it too much.
No, you did an excellent job, mate.
6 minutes. Sorry.
Excellent. So excellent. We need to see it again.
Yes, one more time.
Yes.
Now we have someone missing tonight. Not just Nick Quigg. We have the other Nick May. But he was still able to send in a picture.
Oh, nice.
You are.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Where's the gym boots?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's swimming.
They would get waterlogged.
Hmm.
Wait, if he can comment on the show, why isn't he on the show?
Yeah, good point.
What's he
Good question.
doing?
Good question. Conspiracy. I'm using the word correctly this time.
The fish eye. All right. That's what she's doing. All right. Thanks, mate. Telling me that.
Sis, did you see that? We can't call him Michael.
Oh, that's what his emails come through as.
Is it Mike?
Mickey M.
Yeah, but if you had a microphone, Dave, you would what do you call it? Abbreviate it as MIC.
You don't want to make him cringe though, so let's just call him Mick. I'd rather just call him wrong. I just don't want to make him cringe.
We had Mickey, Mad Mick. What was his name? Mad Mickey.
Mad Mickey the bastard.
Yeah, Mad Mickey, Mad Bastard.
Yeah.
He was on.
Are you just listing random people that were on? What was?
That was interesting.
Maybe
Robbie
we didn't have the
Donaldson.
mad in front of it.
Robbie. Yes.
Who did that?
Robbie
That's
Donaldson.
Robbie. That's the old saddle
good on you,
slapper.
mate. Bloody ripper. Robbie, well done, mate. Bloody
Dave,
beauty.
saddle slapper could be a name for like one of the states. I don't know if you're missing one for the crow beaters and the banana eaters, whatever you got. The saddle slappers.
The saddle slappers. Yeah.
So, Robbie, where are you from? Now that's called the Saddle Slappers. That's the.
That might be ACT or Northern Territory, we reckon.
Mm.
Well, Saddle Slapping. That might be.
Well, yeah, so
up
you
in
can
the
find
high
Robbie
country.
on. Sorry, Dave. You can find Robbie on Instagram at Saddle Slap. That's why we keep saying that.
That's why we're saying that. Yes.
But yeah, he does awesome character design stuff.
I'll forgive you, Rob. Just don't do it again. All right.
Speaking
Not like
of
that
awesome
episode a few back where you were saying stuff that we weren't meant to be saying on air, and I just started yelling over you to stop the show.
Yeah.
Good times. It's like, all right, shut up, time to go.
Yes.
All right, what do we got?
Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Chris Pitcan.
Oh,
yes.
my goodness.
Oh, lovely.
Now, did you do that in half an hour, mate?
I started about 10 minutes before the stream did.
Wow, good on you.
Holy moly.
That's fantastic.
Because I was out until about 8 o'clock and then had to scramble to find all the stuff that's still in boxes to put together to be able to stream. So yeah, I started about 10 minutes before the stream did.
A giant dingle hopper?
Yeah. Because in The Little Mermaid, she calls forks dingle hoppers.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, so it's a giant dingle hopper.
Yes, of course it is.
That's
Yes,
excellent, Chris.
Yeah, well done, mate. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
And then we have Maddie's.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's wicked.
There's a pendant. Quinton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't like to honestly.
I
I
struggle to
approve,
make,
Maddie.
make the underwater part of the body look like it's underwater. I think you
Yeah,
nailed it
that's good.
though.
Yeah.
Well
That
done.
looks wicked. The way that is totally underwater.
Maddie, who do you get your inspiration from with your style? There's obviously a bit of manga in there, is there?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of anime and manga. God, nobody kill me. Is it Ghibli or Ghibli? Ghibli.
Yeah, giblets.
Giblet.
Ghibli?
According to the Japanese person in my house, it's called Ghibli.
Okay, I say Ghibli. Okay.
Well
Ghibli, right?
done.
Studio Ghibli. So I'm asking. Yeah, she said. Yeah.
Ghibli. All right.
I was gonna say your mirror there looked a bit like something from Adventure Time, actually.
I also love Adventure Time. Yeah. I don't know.
Ah,
That's
right,
awesome.
excellent.
Mingle of everything I love. Probably.
Well done. Good on you, Maddie. Well done. That's a nice picture.
Yeah, that was awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Wait,
Stop
Studio
it.
Ghibli.
And the last one I have in
Studio
digitally is Shadens.
Ooh.
Oh, very
Shaded.
nice, Jaden.
Cool.
Yeah,
How do
fantastic.
you do it?
Yeah, that's
Excellent.
good.
It's a little bit
Jaden.
more color than you usually put in shade. And normally you just go pink and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it though? Like there is only probably what 3 there? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's perfect.
Yeah. There's
Technically,
only
Perfect
there's
color
four
choices.
colours in it.
There's
couple of
5
tones.
colours technically.
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4,
So yeah,
5. Yep.
a little more than I usually would, but only because I really wanted to kind of stick true to her costume design.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, very nice. Very good, Shaden.
Yeah,
Nice
it's
hands.
excellent. Ironically, not much shading on it.
Oh man,
Oh, yeah.
Wait for it.
Go
Wait
for
for it.
Dave liked the joke. So there you go.
Thank you, Jason. That was worth it. But,
But Jason's going home. Look, he's had enough.
well,
You
speaking
gonna
of,
hold
before,
those up, Jason?
yeah, before you do go home, let's take a look. I think you got something in you.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa! Holy moly! Excellent.
Hold it still, mate. Yeah, beautiful. Oh, come on. Is that all we get?
That's awesome. Now we're just going to leave you up awkwardly for a little while, just so people
Yeah.
get a feel for the man.
Oh, the neighbors must love it.
Just random hi-hat sounds. Just apropos of
I
nothing.
take them everywhere.
Yeah. So Dan, where are we at with yours? Are you sending something through, or you want to hold something up, or?
I'll just hold it up.
Yeah, we can do a hold up.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah,
cool.
Sweet colors.
Hold it up and hold it still. Zoom in, mate.
It's almost got chainmail on. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, cheers.
Colour pencil, mate.
It's the Copic markers. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks.
Yeah,
that's
well
excellent.
done, mate. I've got a couple of your comics.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
From your series and your first put out. Yeah.
Wow.
You did a Kickstarter. I think I backed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it arrive all right? I think I used pretty cheap envelopes. Bit of a mistake.
It arrived in perfect condition.
Glad to hear. Cool.
We've got one last piece of art.
Yeah, I'm
Just
really
found.
hoping Jeannine was going to draw tonight as well. So
Yeah, well, she's a landscape
Yeah.
painter.
He's an illustrator.
So she did.
she sent it.
She sent it in.
Excellent.
Atlantis Bay, and there's a little
nice.
green dot. And there she
Yeah.
is.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Wow.
Is
What
that
a cool
her, like
idea.
right in the middle, like the little green?
Yeah,
Little green. Is that Mera?
Yeah.
that's her.
Beautiful.
I'm just like, Jeannine, every single show, like next week, say we're doing Superman, just draw a landscape and say that red dot in the background, that's Superman.
And that's it.
That's
Put
brilliant.
up a landscape every week. It looks beautiful.
Well, she's got a very funny expression on her face, that mirror. You notice that?
Your glasses must be stronger than mine, Dave.
I
Yeah,
got good glasses.
I'm not wearing my glasses, so I can't see her face.
I got very good glasses.
So that's all the art I've got.
So, Alex, just a quick hypothetical. If we were to dance tonight, would we be sort of like dancing
Like
kind
something
of fun?
Spanish, Latin.
Oh, yeah, because I have such an extensive library.
Yeah, I figured. I was thinking, what does Rob have? I think he has like Argentinian, whatever their song is called.
Of course, this is
There's only a very small range in this program.
This is a tango.
yeah. Well, I have uploaded some tunes there, Sis. I don't know if you.
Oh, okay.
But the reason why we're getting ready to dance is because
Oh,
Alex Major told us to.
Awesome.
All right, so let's see who Mera is dancing with, and if you guessed correctly at home.
It's fun.
That's cool.
No, it's Stump.
Of course, it's Stump, which Alex was not created by Mark Sexton. It was created by John Petropoulos. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name
Oh,
right.
that's right. There was a duo. Oh. But Mark Sexton drew him, though, right? Mark, if you watch it,
Would you pronounce it Petropoulos?
Never gets old.
Back to the
yeah,
archive.
you know where the sluggish reference is from, right? You went. I think there was like a year.
Yeah,
where you had
if I was
just
wearing a
black
hat at the time, yeah. Now, Alex,
Yeah.
this is also the part of the show now. We're all dancing and grooving.
Yeah.
I don't want to steal your thunder, so I'll let you say it. But now's a perfect time to tell people.
To like the video, like it, hit the thumbs up, subscribe,
Yep.
and then finally to make sure it appears on your things, just ring the bell like the cat. And then just also the Citrus Comics, that's been announced, right?
It's in pre-order at the moment.
Oh,
Having
okay,
pre-order
there you go.
sale, whatever you want to call it. 20% off if you order it before it gets launched.
There you go. And is it
So we'll
going
get
to
into
be
that in
in
the next
Jeannine's
section.
shop as well?
There's the next section, remember, Alex?
Oops, they're awkwardly
Oh,
still
is there another
dancing.
section?
That was good.
Yeah, Alex, we've only done it 85 times.
Yeah.
And
I've only
you've
been on 63 of them, so
I was going to say you've been there for about
Oh,
82 of those 85 times. Well, I mean, that sounds
Well
like
done,
a good
Alex. That was a ripper, mate.
Yeah,
Beauty.
good work,
Well
Alex.
done, mate.
The only time you'll see me dancing in public, just my head. You don't want to see what my body's doing.
Wobble.
All right, let's just do this.
This poor person is looking through the newspaper for info on what projects our artists have been working on. And this lost individual is using a map to find where she can follow our artists on social media and buy their books. How about we save them the trouble and just tell them? We call this next segment shameless self-promotion.
I'm going to cheat. And then I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to go here. So this is what I'm promoting. It's the Sidrus Perceptions pre-order campaign. It's got another 20-something days. I didn't look, didn't check. And it's 20% off the regular price if you pre-order it. And they will be shipping out probably early April, maybe sooner, if I can get the book sorted. So yeah, and that's at the ComX shop. That link will take you to the ComX shop where the campaign is. That's my
Sweet.
little plug.
Well, just in case she can't make it back, I will tell you that I have a lot of books available. Devil's Toilet, Vamoose, Larrikin and Just, a couple of issues of Torn, Rick McClune, all of which are available at heroeshq.com.au. Well, they're in the store. I assume you can get them online. So you can get them at psychogenitor.com, of course, but if you want to support a brick and mortar store, someone who supports comics, Australian comics, head on over to Heroes HQ, particularly if you're in the area of Ballarat. It's an awesome place to make a little jaunt out to. Yeah, hopefully Jeannine can make it. She's trying to join us.
She's trying, but it's not connecting.
But, yeah. But until then, Slim Shady.
Well, hang on, just before that. She said to contact her by email if you wanted to get your comics in there, if you weren't in the Ballarat area. And I looked up the website and I got the email. So there you go.
But if you go there, you'll get the money straight away.
Yeah, so make that drive.
Rob?
Yeah, well, literally, I put my books on the table and she was like, I'll have 2 of those, 1 of those, 3 of those. And then she said, how much is that? And just cash all in my
maybe
pocket.
I've changed my mind then.
And I was like, with the amount of money she gave me, I was like, I'll just buy the store. Just come to my store, Heroes HQ, owned by me now. If you're a creator, comic book creator, get on it. You'd be crazy not to. Get your books in the hands of people that wouldn't have got them otherwise.
And to get to her shop, it's not, you don't have to go right in the middle of town. It's on the outside of town. And I came into Ballarat and I actually drove past and had to drive back to get to it because it's right on the northern entrance to Ballarat. So quite easy to get to.
Well, you were on a horse, Dave, so that makes it harder. Fair.
Yeah, and if you could go there and sell out a few of those amazing tales, because I think Dave beats me by 1 or 2 titles on the shelf there. So I want to be...
sell them out.
Yeah.
Well, he's done number 2, mate. So,
what about you, Shaden? Lady of the No Man's Land?
That's the one. You can get No Man's Land, my roller skating comic, from my website, which is Shaded Art. It is the very bottom text underneath me. Shadedart.com, or else you can find all my artwork online. I've got a Facebook, an Instagram, a TikTok, a Patreon, and a YouTube where you can catch me, all under the same name.
Excellent. What do you do on your Patreon?
So my Patreons can actually, it depends on which tier you get. You can either be a general supporter of all my artwork. If you get the mid tier, you can actually see pages of No Man's Land 3 currently being produced.
Excellent.
So you can actually see it page by page as it's being uploaded. Otherwise, if you do go the whole hog, you can also catch some of my tutorials that I put up online.
Excellent. I want a tier, like a super high tier, where you get one of your chickens to try and draw. Like, just tape a pen to its face and then put some chicken feed on a page. I'm talking super high tier, like $30 a month. Or
I could do one better. How about I tape it to my pig and he can draw for us? Gary.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
That's $25. I want the chicken for 30.
Yeah.
Together.
I'll pay 35 for together.
Yeah.
You've got horses, Shaden, haven't you?
I do. Yes, I do. $50 for the horse.
And Dave,
do you guys talk about horses after the show? Or horses?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing but horse talk.
Jason, how many farm animals do you have?
I used to have chickens. I had rabbits for a short time. Foxes ate the chickens in front of the children. I've got a blue-tongued lizard. Shouldn't have one. Whoops.
Oh, cool.
And budgie.
Oh, does that budgie solve crimes or just a regular budgie?
Mate, he can't even solve. He can't even get out of the cage. So he's
Right.
I got back.
Jeannine, did we just get a cameo from your teammate over there at Heroes HQ, one of the other heroes, if you will?
I did. Absolutely. My daughter Ruby. Here she is.
Yeah.
Good
Hey,
on you,
Ruby.
Hello.
She's the other half of Heroes HQ.
Yeah, that's
Just,
awesome.
she
The
doesn't live at
technician.
home, and she's climbed out of bed and driven over here. Thankfully, Ballarat's not that big that you take an hour to
That's
get
awesome.
here.
Yeah.
She did whatever she did, and it worked. So
Yeah.
sorry I missed all that.
Ruby.
I missed
No,
the
No,
dance.
that's all right. Yeah, we did some dancing. We were all admiring your landscape painting and thought it was a genius idea. Show a
I do
landscape.
landscapes. Yeah.
Yeah. We
I'm
were
not too good on faces.
we were suggesting you do a landscape every week and just put a small dot for a character.
A small dot on it. Yeah, I like Ant-Man. He's pretty good. It's just a
Yeah.
white page and a red dot, really.
Yeah. This thing draws itself. Sorry,
Yeah, it
Jason,
does.
where can we find your Eek comics and whatnot?
That's fine, mate. I was just going to say about the landscape with the tiny person. Jeffrey Smart did portraits like that. Have you ever seen any of his portraits?
Oh,
Really?
Okay.
So he do these paintings of shipping containers, like all super detail, really beautiful.
Yeah.
And then have a tiny little figure
Figure.
poking his head up in the corner of, Clive James or something.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, right.
Here we go. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me.
No.
Me. Eat
No.
number 3.
Oh, that's your
That one. There I am.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
one.
I've got that on my shelf. I
There's
have
more
that on my
coming.
shelf.
Peter's
And
done
that
that
one.
Oh, well done, Pete.
Hell
Yeah.
Okay. Well
I have
done,
that
mate.
on my shelf as well.
That's all.
That's excellent.
So this is. Can I
we
just
should
quickly show you this?
Oh, absolutely.
This is my worst ever. I don't know if you can see. So that's my Mera.
We'll-
It looks like she's hit a bus.
Okay.
I don't know if you
All
can
right.
see it.
Oh, no, that's excellent.
It's good.
We got a glimpse.
What?
But
I can't
Yeah.
see him.
I'm not very good on faces. So
Oh,
you
it's
can
really,
see
really cool.
I try,
It looks pretty
but
good
I don't do very well.
from what we can see.
I like
there.
my dots.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. I just wanted to shout out Peter Lane and Sky's Cabin Library 3 just dropped with a cover by Jason Paulos and another cover by me. So vote with your wallet. I not only do I want to beat Dave Dye, I want to beat Jason as well. So
Hey,
On that subject, does he hassle you about how you draw Sky's head?
yes, he has. Yeah.
Really? So, because I'm literally at the point where I just copy from the model sheet and paste the fucking thing on. He just doesn't like how I draw. Like, I don't do cute. I can't do cute, you know?
Yeah.
Like, cutesy cute, I can't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he hassled me, but he definitely, I had to get it. Mine looks like my sort of take on it, but yeah, he wanted it to look.
Bro, I
how we
thought
wanted it.
Darren Close was bad. He wrote me for a whole day on how to draw, you know, Killaru's head like a pyramid, you know?
Yeah.
Far out.
I mean, I found him absolutely delightful to work with.
So did I.
Hey, Spedsy, you've got a story in number 3, haven't you?
Yeah, so I did some lettering of one of the stories, but I also did an 8-page story where Sky's Cabin Library crosses over with some characters from Vamoose. So you may recall, those handful of readers might recall, Old Man Biscuit visited characters from a future title called Space Cheese. So basically, Old Man Biscuit is out of the picture, which you can read in Vamoose 4, and in his place is Sky, who is the sort of the next interloper that joins the Space Cheese team on a little fun. Yeah. So yeah, you can grab that. Pete, how can they grab it? What's the easy way? You can go to Sky's Cabin Library on Instagram for starters, and you can find out all the whatnots there. Alex.
Maybe. What's going on?
Tell us about yourself.
Today I'm not going to just go to the ComX store, buy your comics there. I got a teacher there that's probably still there for sale. And otherwise, I want to know more about Dan and his comics.
Dan, where can we find you?
Me? I'm not. I need to fix my website, so I'm like really keen on uploading the new pages for Super Solace to the YouTube channel, and the progress of that is like pretty exciting at the moment. But actual physical floppy, yeah. I'm just gonna wait until Super Solace is ready to be in that physical form.
Where can we find
you? I'm gonna leave a link to your YouTube channel in the comment section after this.
Yeah,
so
sure.
You can go to the comment section and then find it there. Cool.
Yeah, cool. Check it in the private chat. We'll put it on screen before we.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Just on the right hand side, there's a little private chat. Mr. Crispy Inks.
Yep. You can find me on Instagram at crispy.inks or on Twitter at crispydraws. I mainly work with NSK Comics. I do Fox and the Hound, and we've also done Hell Courtesan. There should be a new Fox and Hound, the next issue, coming pretty soon. I'm also working on a cyberpunk short story for the next ComX anthology, which is pretty cool. Which Nicole also wrote. And I've also done Wolf Cubs issue 2 with Sigmet Studio, which should be coming out soonish, I guess, as well.
Excellent.
But
yeah, busy.
Wow, that's awesome.
Dave, I'm genuinely curious where you're at. You just dropped a Amazing Tales 6. What's on the drawing table at the moment?
Well, not much. I was going to have in past I've mentioned Rick McLean that I was working on, but that's on hold at the moment. So we'll just have to wait and see. That's going to come out later, possibly a lot later in the year. But I'm still a bit flabbergasted that Alex Major's little talk only went for less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, I wanted to throw you and Rob off, so I figured, I already did my like, subscribe, and ring a ding bell thing.
Well,
so.
Seeing Budgie isn't here, I just thought everyone should go to ComX and get themselves a copy of Nick Cleary's Budgie, Detective Budgie.
Yep.
And I'm not sure. Nick May's not here, but are these available anywhere? They should be.
What's
They
this?
should be, but they're not.
This is Nick May's stuff, and he should be putting those out. So what's going on, Nick? Get your bloody act together, mate. Seen Jeannine's on tonight. I just want to highlight this little book that I did a few years ago with the writer Hugh Dolan, historian. So this is an illustrated story of the Gallipoli, Eureka Stockade.
Oh,
Which
it's
is
funny,
available.
isn't it, over on my shelf.
That's available in Amazon, Booktopia, all the mainstream mainstream booksellers.
And Heroes
And
HQ
He-
as well.
And
right?
Heroes HQ soon, yes.
Ah, you're
Oh,
getting
good.
it in. Good on you, Jeannine. Yeah, fantastic. And this is where you can get my comics as well as Heroes Headquarters. I have to put that on the list now. HTT Owner Indie, and also the ComX shop. That's it.
Indie. I just
You
got
need a
that.
dot. You forgot the dot. ComX dot shop.
I just got Owner Indie. I only just got that.
Oh, did you?
I thought it was some kind of cryptic. I don't know.
Did you have to
Owner
pay?
Indie. I get it now.
Right. I thought you meant you just
indie.
put your stuff on the website.
No, I just understood the name just then.
Yeah. Owner Indie.
Sorry.
Yeah. A lot of people say it too quick, but I've got a bit of a drawl or a bit of a slow.
So if you do it quickly, what would it sound like? If you read it quickly, like what does it sound like?
One of my
Oh, an indie or
an indie.
There we go.
Yeah. One of my sergeants used to reckon I moved like a statue. So I guess that's
Well,
what.
but you survived. Looks like you were able to be fast enough to run away from the bullets. So.
That's right. All right, I've taken over from Alex and jibbered on for bloody ages.
The time we saved with Alex is.
Maddie, please save everybody from me.
Well, you can find most of my sketches and illustrations on my Instagram, which I think I put underneath my name. There, for my Instagram, there's a link to my website, which has all my finished comics for free to read. I'm currently working on my second short story zine collection. This was the first one. Fun. This has the twin comic that we were talking about.
Yeah. I want it.
There's some of those pages.
Just hold that steady, Maddie.
Yeah, I really love your style.
Get back to that black one.
That's so cool.
Oh yeah, nice.
But yeah, I'm working on my second one, and hopefully we'll have that out somewhere in Brisbane to get. And like I was saying before, a lot of my short comics I get published through VoiceWorks magazine. I really love. I actually did the cover of this one.
Oh, good on you.
Oh, nice.
That's so
Nice.
Ooh,
Wow, good on you.
Wait, there's another one in here.
That's
You can see that.
Oh,
that's awesome.
I think I've got some stories in like 3 of these magazines. You can get them like online and in bookstores. And yeah, that's about me done.
That's so cool.
nice.
That looked great.
Very good.
Well, Jeannine, how about one last plug? And or if you want to dance because you missed out on the dancing section.
I could do the dance. Just Heroes HQ is a physical bricks and mortar store as well as an online store, and Ruby is working as quickly as she can to get as many of the comics that we are bringing in from local Australian creators and artists on our online store so that you can purchase them through there as well. So if you can't get into store, if you're not in Ballarat and you're not local, and hopefully the locals here will start supporting the indie trade and assist me to stay open. And you can also purchase online if you're from overseas. We send everywhere other than where the shipping isn't going to at the moment. So, okie dokie. And thank you very, very much for supporting me, and thank you very much for all your hard work and amazing content and amazing stories. It's just awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you for giving us a place to put them. So it's
right.
It makes us inspired to make them, knowing that it'll make it into people's hands. So it's no good us just making it and putting it on a pile next to us. It's awesome to see it on a shelf. It's wicked.
Well, I've just got to remember all your names now and know who I'm purchasing from and where I need. Because some of them have already sold out, so I've got to go back. I've got to go through my colour scheme and try and figure out where did they come from, and buy another 3 or buy another 5 or another 13 in a box or whatever. You know,
you could even.
I got an email from a person from Ballarat. It was Matt Westman. And he said how he contacted me to say how much he enjoyed Amazing Tales #1 that he bought from their shop. Yeah,
fabulous.
So I was flabbergasted and elated to retrieve that.
Yeah, well, I asked them to make sure that they feed back what they think, and that it bolsters the confidence, and it helps with creativity to let the creators know and to go directly to them, because they are Australian, supporting Australians. So, you know, I'm pleased to hear that. I did tell him
the feedback.
Yeah, I did tell him not to buy #2 until he'd read #1, and then I expect him in store soon to get it.
Well, it was really cool. Just even the video you put up the other day, I was able to do a little stock take. Like I tried to see how many of my comics were still there. So just put up a video once a month, and we'll all eagle eye it. And
on my watch on the shelf.
Amazing Tales 4 and 5 are missing. All right, we need to send those up there.
Yeah. The one of my my old employees, Landon, he does video things, you know, and he's going to come in and do a little skit for me on the Australian comics, like he did for my, you know, it's on the website a lot, some of his stuff. So he's going to come in and highlight the Australian content in the store soon when we get time.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Beauty.
Excellent.
Okie dokie.
Well, Shaden, what do you think? Did we do it? Is it done?
I reckon. Yeah, we've done a good circle. I reckon we've well rounded it.
I don't think, Robert, there's another half an hour to go. We can do another half hour.
Yeah, well, I have to go break up with one of my girlfriends, so yeah, I can't hang out too long. I feel
Why don't
bad.
you just pick up a third one and have her deal with the other two? Because, you know, if you want to be a good girlfriend, go and deal with the other 2 girlfriends while I'm busy doing half an hour longer comic shows.
Yeah.
I think Alex is talking from experience.
I just love the fact that I've become the dating advisor now. So.
Well, virtual
do you
dating.
prefer that than the Google girl? Or?
If you want to hear about my real problems, just say that for a show.
Well, you've got cream for that, mate. That should be all you need. Is that right? That cream not doing the job, or what?
Oh yeah, no, that problem's
Oh, okay.
It's under control.
Okay, mate.
It's a tablet now.
Can I just say something? Do you mind?
Absolutely.
Just a suggestion. I've got 3 junior comics from everybody. The Doodads, Young Rufus.
Yep.
And
Toby.
another one. Toby's
Yeah.
a younger reader, but I'm talking from 6 to sort of 12-year-olds. So, you know, the origins, the baby of your creations before they became mean and nasty or great and big, you know, and it's that younger reader group that I need in store. You know, it's the kids that want to read, that can't read a novel or a wordsy thing, they want to read books. So their parents come in, buy a book, but there's nothing there for them. So I need some young readers content, please.
Something with no swear words, some poop jokes, maybe, just to, I can't think of anything top of my head.
No, Rob, no poop jokes.
Like a cute sort of character based on an everyday utility that we use.
It's the younger version of the older version that dads and mums are reading. So, so that they can start at that early age for the character and know that early, like the Phantom, the Kid Phantom, like young Rufus, like all those early, like Scooby Doo. How they're just a generic thing and young people like them. Yeah. That's what I need on the shelf. I need stuff for kids.
Excellent. That's great.
All right. Well, that's good advice to all the creators out there. We better go. We've overstayed our welcome. It was the longest show in a little while, but it was good stuff. So I didn't want to leave, but now it's time to go. So what do you reckon, Sis? Time to eat our prayers and say our vitamins.
Yep,
and
sure.
Tell the folks next week we are drawing the Witcher. How do you say his name?
That's right. Yeah.
Geralt. Gisby, Giblets.
Male or female?
Male.
There's two different versions.
Very male.
From my neck of the woods.
About as male as you can get, Dave.
Biden, it's a male. Look out.
Alrighty. Well, we'll catch you next week with some Witcher action. Until then, we'll catch you down the road.
After party. It was so much fun.
Somebody
call the police.
Someone should call the police. The show has been murdered. But in 1 week we will rebuild it. Better, stronger, faster. In the meantime, head to ComX.shop and powder your chestnuts on a copy of Detective Budgie by Nick Cleary, Amazing Tales by Dave Dye, Vamoose by Nick May, Battle for Bustle by Lee Chalker, Radical by Ed Kearsley, Sluggish by Spedsy, Crimson and Rascal by Peter Wilson, ComX Presents featuring so many of the creators that have appeared on this show. And so much more. Alright Sis, press the button. End the show. Don't make me butter your biscuit. Sizzle, press the button. Sizzle? Sausage sizzle.